confidently rewrote 40 client invoices with the wrong VAT numbers in production on a Tuesday. If you're running a real business through Claude Code, not a demo, this is the failure mode the 4-hour courses never show you. I'll walk you through the exact 3 guardrails I added after that incident. The hook config, the CLAUDE.md rule, and the audit log format, so Claude can never silently nuke your database again. Most tutorials sell the magic wand. Nobody shows the recovery scripts. I'm Lazar. I ship live products with Claude Code every week, and after 6 weeks, 0 incidents. Let me show you exactly what changed. Here's what happened. It was a routine Tuesday. I asked Claude Code to clean up an invoicing script. Small refactor, nothing dramatic. It ran, tests passed, I moved on. 2 days later, a client emails me. Their VAT number is wrong on the last batch of invoices. I check. Not one invoice. 40 plus. All with the wrong VAT field. All already sent. In a country where invoicing errors are a legal problem, not a bug. That's the day I stopped trusting the workflow those 4-hour courses teach. The courses show you Claude Code is a magic wand. Prompt it, watch the code appear, ship. What they never show you is what happens at 2 a.m. when Claude decides a helper function needs a small optimization. And that optimization changes how a field maps from the source CSV to the database. It compiles, tests pass because the tests didn't cover that field. And 40 invoices later, you have a legal problem. So I want to walk you through the 3 guardrails I added after that Tuesday. These are not theoretical. They are the exact files running in production right now on a live invoicing system for small businesses. Guardrail number 1 is a pre-write validator hook. Claude Code lets you register hooks that run before certain tool calls. I have one hook that intercepts every single edit or write call, checks the file path, and if the file touches anything financial, migrations, invoice models, tax logic, VAT calculators, it blocks the write and dumps a diff to a review file. The hook is maybe 40 lines of Python. It reads the tool call, matches the target path against a list of protected globs, and if it matches, it refuses the write and prints a message telling me to review the diff manually. Claude sees the refusal, logs it, moves on. I get a notification. I review. If it's fine, I approve. The write goes through. If it's not, I catch it before it hits the database. In 6 weeks, this hook has blocked 12 writes. 2 of those 12 were writes I would have shipped. Guardrail number 2 lives in CLAUDE.md. If you don't know, CLAUDE.md is the file Claude Code reads at the start of every session to understand the project. Most people put architecture notes in there. I put rules. The rule that matters most is this. Any file under invoices, clients, or tax is read-only by default. Claude can read them, reason about them, reference them, but cannot modify them without me explicitly saying the word modify plus the file name in the same prompt. That's it. That's the whole rule. 3 sentences in CLAUDE.md. And because Claude respects the file, it now asks before it touches anything in those directories. It says, this change would modify invoices/importer.py. You have marked this path read-only. Do you want to proceed? That prompt alone would have stopped the original incident. Guardrail number 3 is the one I'm proudest of. It's an append-only audit log. Before Claude runs any destructive command, and I define destructive broadly, any database write, any file deletion, any migration, any git force push. It appends a line to a log file. The line contains a timestamp, the exact command, the reasoning Claude gave, and a hash of the current state. This is done through another hook. The log is append-only at the file system level, so Every morning I read the last night's log in about 90 seconds. I can see exactly what Claude tried, what it ran, and what it changed. If something went wrong overnight, I know before the client does. Last Thursday, the log showed Claude attempted to drop a temporary table that turned out not to be temporary. The validator caught it, but the audit log is how I noticed the mistake in reasoning and updated CLAUDE.md so it wouldn't try again. Now let me show you what this looks like in practice. Here is the actual hook config. Roughly 50 lines. It registers on the pre-tool use event, filters by tool name for edit and write, matches path globs, and either passes through, blocks, or logs. Here is the actual CLAUDE.md excerpt. 6 sentences under a section called Protected Paths. Here is the actual audit log from last week. 32 entries. Every one of them explains what Claude was about to do and why. 2 of them show a blocked write. This is the setup. This is what the 4-hour courses do not teach you. Because it's not sexy. It's not a slash command that ships a landing page in 8 minutes. It's a boring validator hook that saves you a legal bill. If you are running a real business through Claude Code, and by real I mean actual clients, actual money, actual data that matters, guardrails are the difference between a tool that scales you and a tool that liquidates you. The prompts do not matter as much as the fences you put around them. The full hook config, the CLAUDE.md protected paths template, and the audit log format are the same ones we ship for clients at BizflowAI. Take a look, see what a real production setup looks like when the stakes are actual invoices. If this saved you from a bad Tuesday, hit subscribe and ring the bell. The next breakdown covers the overnight replay script that pairs with these guardrails. And if you want this built and hardened for your business, book a free 30-minute discovery call at bizflowai.io. Bring the workflow, we'll map the fences.